Welcome back to Twin J Racing, everyone. Today we're going to check out the rear end in this thing. It's making a heck of a noise, so follow along, see what we find. Welcome back to Twin J Racing, everyone. Today we are working on this 79 Cadillac Hearse. You saw it in the video where I talked about all my cars. If you didn't, go watch that video. Pause this, but come back. Well, actually, I'll have to get out and then come back, but still, come back. Anyways, I'm thinking, I drove it today. I'm thinking the pinion bearings are bad. That's what it sounds like. I can't feel them yet, but I haven't fully pulled this drive shaft loose yet either. I got the bolts loosened, and it drew first blood already. But as you can see, all of this is wet. All of this is wet, and it's been leaking for quite a while. So either the seal is bad, but more than likely if the pinion bearings are bad and that's moving up and down, it will eat that seal up. And that's what I'm thinking has happened. The way it sounds when I drive it, it's when I accelerate, and I mean, you can see it's got crap caked all over it. But when I accelerate, it rattles and makes some noise back here. So I'm thinking it's these pinion bearings. I could be wrong. We're going to find out. And we can even find out together. But we're going to get this drive shaft loose, see if I feel any difference once this is out of here. Because this is just straight to here. But I mean, there's got to be a slip yoke somewhere in here. You'd like to think anyways. I mean, that's got to be a slip yoke right there. But you know, we got to get this done, get this apart, and then we'll pull the diff cover and take a look. But follow along, we're going to get something. The guy that's interested in buying this wants me to check out the rear end to see what's wrong with it. So that's what we're doing. Figure it out. Well, we're going to get this cover off, see what we see, but I'm pretty sure that pinion bearings are where the problem is. And we're going to get this apart and figure this out. Let's not break the bolt. So that's what I'm trying to do. But here's your nice little posi tag because it's a posi unit, which is cool. I didn't expect that, but you know, it is what it is. Makes it cooler, that's for sure. Take the parking brake out of the way. Maybe. Get that up and out of the way. Put this bolt back in. Put the top bolt back in because that's kind of your safety. As you start taking all the bolts out and then when you pry the cover off, you want this top bolt to be most of the way in so the cover doesn't just jump off and be like, hello, we're going to jump off of here today. Not that I've ever had that happen a time or two. Let's put that socket in there before I drop it. Don't know why I have two sockets, but that was one from the engine stand earlier. The magnetic trays. They are one of the best things you can buy for putting bolts when you're doing this kind of crap. You know what would probably make a lot of sense too is me going and getting a drain pan. Somebody's been in here. There's all kinds of nice blue silicone. Blue silicone on this stuff. Now don't do this at home, boys and girls. You don't use a screwdriver as a hammer or a pry bar or a chisel because that's what happens. You break the handle. But being that it's already food barred, Yeah. Ooey gooey goodness. Remember what I said about leaving one in the top? That's why. Let's put, I would say put it under that brake line, but my luck, I'll break the brake line. But I don't like the color of that gear lube. And maybe it's okay. It looks kind of watery to me. That's strange though. I don't know why it would have water. I mean, if this was a four-wheel drive, I'd know why it would have water in it. Not that I'd ever do anything like that. Ever. Constantly. I mean, yeah. Oops. That doesn't seem like a lot of gear lube though. Oh, there we go. There's some more. Loosen that bolt up. That still didn't seem like a lot. I mean, I could be wrong, but that didn't seem like a lot of gear lube to me. Should be at least 2 good quarts in here. Or should have been at least 2 good quarts in here. This, as far as I know, is an 8.5. Ew. Definitely a highway gear. We'll see if you guys can see it in there, but if you look, I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see it. There is all kinds of nice and shiny, speckly stuff in there. And my assumption is it's up front, but I could be wrong. We're gonna have to keep tearing into it and figuring it out, but yeah, definitely there's an unhappy bearing in here somewhere. Okay, boys and girls, I'm pretty sure that inner pinion bearing is toast. Just the way this feels and the way it sounds. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that inner pinion bearing has bought the farm. See how the pinion's moving? Yeah, I told my wife after driving and I said the pinion's bad. I said the pinion bearings are bad. How do you know? I know. I have dealt with this stuff my whole life. No doubt in my mind now that that pinion bearing is bad. Oh well. This is something you don't see every day. I hope you guys can see this. It's still got spanner clips on it. I don't know if it's from somewhere they had work on it or they're still from GM. I have a hard time believing they're still from GM, but God only knows. According to the odometer, and I have no reason not to believe it, it's only got like 60-some thousand miles on it. So God only knows. We'll find out though. Well, I mean, we won't find out where these are from, but yeah, we're gonna keep plugging away at it, trying to get stuff done here. You gotta take C-clips out. And here's the C-clip. So you push the axle in and you grab it with a magnet. And you fish this puppy out of here. Guess it doesn't want to go in anymore. But there you go. One C-clip. One C-clip. 2. 2 C-clips. You're not supposed to drop them, but you have days like that. Pull one axle out. Pull. Oh, this one doesn't want to let go. Of course not. The other one slid right out. There we go. 2 axles out. Now, we can go after the carrier. That's the next step here. We're going to get this carrier out of here. Those should be 5/8 bolts. We'll knock both of them loose, get them out, and then we'll be able to tell you for sure if it's the pinion, but I'm pretty sure it does. This is just another side note. You always want to mark your caps before you take them off. So, what I do to mark these, you see there's an arrow there on it, and you walk over here and you put a nice ding in it. See how it's got a nice mark there? You come over here and you put one mark. I make that one a little deeper. One mark. And then over here you go 1 mark, 1 mark, and then you go 2 marks. Now make sure that one's good. 2 marks, 2 marks. So now that cap matches and that cap matches. That way, theoretically, you put it back together right. I mean, this is me we're talking about, so it'll probably go together wrong, but see if this one's got enough butt to do what I need it to do. Yep. There's 1. There's 2. Need a piece of cardboard. Is this one I ripped? No. Yeah, she's the one I ripped. I don't want to set that on the dirty floor. Now the next trick, and you got spacers right there and right there. You got spacers on the other side of them bearings, or races actually. So you want to make sure and keep those in order, because those belong on each particular side. No, I didn't think it was just going to roll out. So let me go get a bar, boys and girls. I mean, it shouldn't just roll out, but you never know. Well, hell. No, that ain't gonna get it. There we go. Oh! But you saw me grab, well, I hope you saw me grab the one shim. Here's the other shim. Well, if there was any doubt, you, Jim Cooper. Well, my buddy Jim Cooper at JC told me to do that to find out. You will find out that your pinion bearings are your problems or not. And guess what? It sure as hell sounded like it. So, with that, please like, share, and subscribe. Do that stuff down there. Comment. Make sure and comment. We got to get the YouTube algorithm going, man. We got to get it going. We'll catch you guys in the next one. We got the rear end taken apart, which I think you saw in the last video. And then I came out here last night and I knocked the pinion out. Got the pinion taken apart. And this bearing here is just trash. You can really feel that this is trash. And then I pulled the bearing off of here. It's actually still in here. Got to flip it over, pull the other bearing, getting it ready. We're going to go press all that on. We got a new bearing kit over here from Quick Performance. My brother's got a hook up with them, so I get bearings from them. If you watched my Fun Day Friday from the 11th, you saw and we talked about it. But here is the big discovery. I knocked both races out of here last night. That is what happens, boys and girls, when we use way too much silicone. You can tell whoever did this cover put silicone for freaking days on. I haven't even looked at the cover. It's got silicone. And gee, where does all that silicone, especially big glops from the inside, where does it go? It goes right there, in between the two pinion bearings, through the oil passages. I mean, it just... this crap has been through the bearings. And I wonder why they're bad. And that's how it oils the pinion bearings. Up through there, down through there. So you know it just threw that crap through there and it just got in there and restricted and tore stuff up. I mean, I think it's this side. Nope. It's this side. There's still, you can see some of the blue goo is on that side of the bearing. And then I've already cleaned it. But there was a bunch of blue goo. Oh, you can still see a little bit of it. Get the light just right. There's still some blue goo. Yeah, there's still blue goo behind there. That's what happens when you let that crap get everywhere and it tears up stuff. This rear end's got 60,000 miles on it, but all the bearings are junk because the blue goo got everywhere. Somebody tried to do maintenance. They evidently changed the cover gasket or something. I don't know. I can't tell you why they got in there, but they did. And they thought they were doing good, but they didn't. They caused more harm than good because of what they did. And that's what we got to live with. The pinion seal was leaking, which you saw already. That is the invasion of the blue goo. So guys, be mindful of what you do. I have seen blue goo in oil pump pickups because they just silicone the crap out of an oil pan gasket. And where does that go? It goes into whatever, your motor, your rear end. Now they're having a rear end rebuilt in this car. Well, the guy that's buying it's having the rear end rebuilt. But you're into a rear end rebuild, which isn't cheap. Only costs a couple $1 million, but as I'm tripping over crap trying to wipe my hand off from the gear loop. But that is something you need to be mindful of when you're using silicone. Silicone is great. And yes, they tell you to use silicone to make a gasket on most of these covers anymore. A little bit. Not 2 tubes. A little bit. There's a whole tube on that one cover. I'll use a portion and I smear it. I don't leave big globs. Yes, I used to and I've learned. But keep it in mind. So we're going to keep working on getting this apart. I got that bearing pulled off last night. I got to flip it over to the other side. I got to pull the the pinion bearing off, the main pinion bearing, probably press that off. But we got to get that all taken apart. Then we got to go to a press everything back together, which is my plan here in a little bit. That's what we're going to work on. Thankfully, my brother has this bearing puller tool. I don't know if it's what they specifically call it. It's an Amazon special. It's a little over $100. I've actually looked at buying myself one, but I don't think I'd use it enough, and he lets me use it. So, and he's got the bigger bearing and stuff. He does a lot of 9-inch stuff for roundy round guys. So, he has a use for it. I don't think I'd use it enough. So, that's where we're at. We're going to get the camera set up, and we're going to start taking the rest of this apart and getting it ready to take and press everything on. Actually, I probably should clean it up first. That might be a good idea. But we're going to clean it up, get the blue goo out of everything, put races, put bearings, put everything in, and plug away at it. So, we'll catch you guys in a little bit. We are pulling bearings. We've already pulled this bearing this morning. I just pulled it, and I'm like, I need to video this. This goes in here. This goes on here. Then you put the cup on, which we'll do down here in a second, and you pull that bearing off. Which we've already done, because here's the bearing. We gotta pull the pinion bearing. And there's various ways to do this. I could put one of my, let me get this down here where you guys can see it. Put one of my bearing cut pullers in here, take it to a press and go pull it. There's a shim down there that we gotta keep. But we need to get this apart so we can get the new bearing put on here. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen by now the blue goo of death that is everywhere inside this rear end. We gotta go press them carrier bearings onto. We're gonna probably go over to my buddy's house and use his press. Oh crap. Okay, these were the bigger ones. Shoosh. No. Pretty much the same size. So I think these are bigger ones. Okay. But we got to get this figured out on how to do it. That goes under the cage. Does that go all the way in? No. Well, that goes under the cage. All right, we may have to go use some of my, one of my other ones. Some of my bearing splicers or something to get all the way underneath that. So that bearing's tight. And the shim is in the way. So we actually have to get under, yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. We got to actually get under the shim to get this off. So I don't think we're going to do that with these. Because if I try to pull up on the cage, it'll break the cage. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. So we'll set this up. Pretty sure we're just going to explode the cage. But hey, why not? We'll get this, put that on. It's not around the bearing like I'd like it. It's around the cage. Put this on to hold everything together. And we grab an impact. You know what? I'm an idiot. Take 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever I have to, because we got to take this off. Because this puller doesn't work if it's not engaged inside here. That has to go there. That has to go there. This has to go over here. Now it might do something. Ugh. Wow, I got lucky. Putting that around the cage, pulled the bearing. I thought it might, because it's keeping it captured. So, I'll put these black ones back in here. There's the bearing. You can see some wear and stuff on it. It's a little tighter, but I mean, it hasn't been cleaned yet either. And not that we're reusing any of this crap, but you can. And then, like I was talking about, there's a shim. This here is the most important part of this whole operation. That has to stay, and we'll put it back the way it was, but that has to stay in there to keep this at the proper depth to mesh with that. Yeah, teeth and everything look good. So we're just going to put it all back together with new bearings, but still, we got to put it all back together with new bearings. But I believe we're done with this now. So we'll put this like this. And then set this on top of there. Oh no, this goes over here. That's how it goes. See, not my tool. I gotta remember how to put it all back together. So we got all the bearings apart. Crush sleeve. Don't need any of that crap. Gotta clean these up a little bit. Put the new parts on it, which we have, like I showed the bearing kit. The thick one goes on the driver's side. I mean passenger side. Thicker shim. We got two shims. This one's a little thicker than this one. So that goes back on the passenger side. And that'll set our backlash, which I'll show you in a little while when we put all this back together. So we got to do that. We got a bunch of cleaning in that housing to do. Got a bunch of cleaning in that housing to do to get that all said and done and get it all. Here, let's get you guys up on my level. Or above my level, I don't know. There we go. Let's get you guys so you're not looking up at me. We got a bunch of housing cleaning to do. We'll go get those pressed on. Go over to probably my buddy's place. I'm like, I was going to go do it at the car club. I think I'm going to go over there. He's got a couple of sleeves that I'll need to press a couple of things. And get that cleaned out. And we'll call it good. Get it ready to go back together. So that's kind of where we're at. So we'll continue on here. You guys are probably like, well, he didn't clean the center of that. I really don't want to get a bunch of crap inside them clutches. I don't know what's in there, and I really don't want to clean it all apart, take that all apart, and get a bunch of cleaner or something, solvent in it. I just don't want to deal with it. That's me. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to do some measuring real quick just to make sure I do have the right carrier bearings. Because, well, with these 10.5s, which I've pretty much established this is a 10.5 GM 10 bolt, that they will put different size carrier bearings there for different styles of carriers. So that's 1.79, and this, I mean, it's supposed to be interference fit, so this is 1.78, so that's pretty damn close. Let's go measure over here. Chia or something. All right, you guys gonna stay? No, I'm gonna fall over. Let's see. The soda cans of death. Here is, for better for worse, the bearing kit. And these are our carrier bearings. I mean, pinions, carriers, all this fun stuff. Gear bolts, which we're not using. Carrier. Yep. 1.78. I mean, if you force it, it's 1.77. It's pretty dang close. So yeah, that's the right bearing. That was a question we had because we weren't sure and we couldn't find any identification marks, but we wanted to be sure. And like my brother said, when we got it apart, we would figure it out. And guess what? It's apart and we're going to figure it out. Yeah, that's going to go right on there. Nice. Okay. Welcome back to Twin Joy Racing, boys and girls. Life isn't always roses and unicorns or some crap. We are trying to work on this rear end here. And we got it all torn apart. Pinions out, carriers out, everything's out. We even have the bearings off. Pinion's over here. I cleaned the pinion a little bit. It's over here. And we went to go install the new bearings. And that's when the problem ensued. Hang on a second. Here's all the old stuff. And here's the new bearing kit. But everything, dog treats, right? Everything here is completely wrong. We started matching up numbers. I thought the insides were the same, but they're not. But every one of these bearings is wrong. So that leads us to the next problem. What rear end is this? Well, it's a 79 Cadliac. According to the world of information that I've been able to find, this should be an 8.5, which is, hang on, 8.5. 8.5 bearing kit. Doesn't fit. The only bearing that is correct in that whole kit is the small pinion bearing, or the outer pinion bearing, as I've always been told. Everything else is wrong. Races, everything. So we got to find out what rear end is in this car. What's in this car? That is the question. It looks like a 10-bolt cover. Well, I mean, it has 10 bolts, obviously, but it looks like an 8.5-inch cover. So, yep, when things go wrong, they go wrong. And so now I got to figure out Monday, because today is Saturday. Monday, we're going to figure out what rear end's in and hopefully get parts. So follow along, guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, boys and girls, we finally got some more parts. I'm not 100% sure what rear end. I've heard there's two different numbers thrown around. A 9 3/8. It's a 10-bolt cover, 12-bolt gear, inners. But we took all the part numbers off of all the bearings and races to get what we needed. We got all the stuff to put this together. I got another pinion bearing in the kit because it shares some similarities with the GM 10-bolt 8.5. The seal's the same. The nut's the same. The outer pinion bearing is the same. So I don't know. This thing is weird. It's a commercial chassis rear end, from what I've been told. But we're going to be plugging away at getting it done. You know, we're going to get all that pressed on and then put this back together. We pulled the outer wheel bearing and the blue goo invasion continues. Yeah, I wanted to get that out, and we're going to put a rag with a pole all the way through and clean that tube out real good, because there's some grit here. It's just, I mean, look at that. It's just the never-ending battle. When this is done, it'll be good, but it's going to be, got to get cleaned out, every inch of it. So that's what we're working on. And like I said, I think we're going to end the video here, and we'll pick up the next one. We'll be putting this together. Well, actually, we'll probably be pressing all the bearings on, and then we'll be putting this one together. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, and all that fun stuff. And we will catch you guys in the next one.